drawing whatever today. I got a few things I have to catch up on, so we'll just keep it relaxing. Make any request you'd like. I'll see what I can draw in like 5 minutes for you. Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Nathan BoogieMan Roman, and this is how I look. Congratulations, everyone. Alright, well, with this, I'm gonna start coloring in the Pokemon squad here. That Kayla and I both developed our own last night during our Fusion Friday. This is kind of a different kind of fusion that we were doing. We took a fictional character. In this case, we took Goku, and we decided to give him a 3-man Pokemon squad. And with that, oh, there we go. And this is what I came up with: Lucario, Infernape, and Farfetch'd. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I do want to make sure I have their color schemes open here. You know, preparing ahead of time. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be doing today, but we're figuring it out. Bring up Infernape. We'll bring up Farfetch'd. Make sure we get all the color schemes here. That's right, Farfetch'd has an evolution now, doesn't he? From what I'm seeing. Interesting. But that's not the one I picked. And then Lucario. Lucario is by far my favorite Pokemon, to be honest. It'd be great if Lucario got a 3rd evolution to look even more, you know, badass. But he's already pretty darn badass. Alright. So let's just start with Lucario then. So I'm gonna clean up these layers here real quick, so you know it's necessary. There's those in a folder. Ha! There's the Dorito Man. I'm gonna throw him in there. Alright, so I have... Oh, that's funny. Forgot that this background, how it works. I'll make sure we fix that real quick. There. Now we're good to go. So I made them on 2 separate layers because I have Farfetch'd that's going to be in the foreground, and I'm going to have the other 2 in the background. So in case I do make a background decision, or even in this case find a picture of Goku that fits, I was going to put Farfetch'd in front of Goku either way. Just, you know, pre-planning. So given that, we will create a new layer, throw it down below. Let's start with... I'm going to start with Farfetch'd since he's the foreground. Get him situated here. Well, I said Lucario beforehand, but now I'm changing it up. Now I should really go back and clean up some of this inking. And that's something. Which I'm going to do right now. Work with my natural arms. Taking down some of it because it's further away. Make sure it's... What am I looking for? Yep. Actually, I'm going to make sure I'm working with Let's make sure it's the same black. There we go. This is no copyright sounds. They're awesome. Got so many different genres to play at once for you. You know, cleaning up inking can take quite a while, which is one of the reasons why I usually dedicate its own time. It's getting the sharper edges that you want here and there. And then also to take it back again. And here's like some. Make sure that's smooth transition there. And I have two ideas. Hmm. We'll cut that back and redo. There. So it's like these transitions, like I have a nice flat, straight. I want to make it more dynamic and more interesting because they come to a point. And then clean up. Make sure these transitions are clean. And see something like this. I want it to come to a point instead of rounded. So you can see that I'm gonna all part of the fun of cleaning up edges. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me, oh, how much I'd love to just put on a musical right now and start singing for you. But it's all about those copyrights. I know that once I hit 100 followers on Facebook, though, I'll say throw that out the window and I'll sing something anyways. It'll probably be a censored video through Facebook or something else because of such actions, but it's not like I'm doing anything to advertise or make money or monetize my videos. There we go. I'd much rather just do this for people. And if you want to support me, you buy my stuff. But we'll be getting to that one, yeah, another time. I just want to draw. Build up a bunch of stuff. Pretty much anything you see on the stream will eventually become something you can buy if you'd like. If not, you can always make requests. I do take commissions. Just know that this is my style and that's what you're going to end up getting. Because I've had too many people ask for, oh, I want a realistic photo. And it's like, you can do it. Just, it's not me, though. It's not me. Now this line does need to be thinner. Probably even thinner than that, to be honest. Let's go ahead and wipe out quite a bit of it. We'll fix. Ooh. Actually. There we go. This turned out pretty well. Let's see if I can situate some of this stuff a bit better. Oops. Now, technically, this is further in the back, so I do even want this. Sure, I'm on the right tool. Haha. There. Really thinning this one out because it's so far back. Line variation just helps with understanding the shape and direction of things. So it's a nice practice. But you notice in most cartoons also they don't do this because this is that extra effort. Usually you'll see in stills. Animation is something you want to make it as simple as possible so you can repeat it over and over and over and over and over again. Not only that, but if you had variation of thin line and line, you have that extra step then. So when this hand is coming forward to hand out something, you're making all those lines bigger. If you add that extra step to everything you do, you're more likely to have that uncanniness occur at times. Because if you overlook it, then it's harder. Oops. Okay. There. Yeah. You know, like I said, I could take forever doing this too. Because it's all based on what I feel. It's what drawing is a lot. So you can see how much cleaner those are starting to become. It's just still quite a bit of work. But you know what? We're going to go into coloring. So we're going to first do this. Now we're going to change from Poco Squad to Pokemon Squad. So it's actually what it should be. And there we go. Saved. It's down below. A little bit below. So Farfetch'd, his main color is... I just realized I did not ink in something. How dare I? Because this is one of his key features. quite like that. See, in that case, I might have to redo that eye, because that eye needs to be further to the side. Oh gosh, see? I overlooked one feature of his. Well then, let's figure this out. It comes across the top, but it doesn't curve outward, it curves into it. Now, you know what? This is a good opportunity to redo the eye. Because I need to make sure this is in. There. See, like I said, I could spend a while doing just redoing lines. There. Alright, so a little bit of curve needed. It looks like a very angry brow is what he gets. So if it's ending right there, not quite, not that far in. There. Now, I'll have to redo that other eye. Let's see if we can reposition this. And look at that. Alright. I can see a faded. It's from that background. It didn't quite. Oh well. Yeah? No. I'm gonna need to turn that. Don't be afraid to use the tilt. I usually do not during stream to keep from people getting dizzy, but this is a cleanup day. So the bigger point is getting the right line for what I would like. No, that's one. Nope. And you know that faded line in the background is actually kind of guiding me a little too much. Nah. So who's keeping the count on this one? Ah. There we go. Gotta keep the arm, elbow up. And I can clean that up a bit. And there. It's pretty sharp. But it's added at an angle that I want, but not quite. It's actually... So I do want to make that eye softer, so I do need to make it more rounded. Because I don't want to make him look like he's being evil and mean. Still not quite there. Maybe. Sharper one? Maybe. There. Alright, and then... Oh, no, not quite there. It's a little bit more. Start at the peak. There we go. Lovely. Just what we're looking for. And then... Actually, I'm thinking about it, I need to redo that other eye now. Because I've been doing so much effort on this one. It needs to match that one. Dang. Also, one other thing is... Because that'll add some softness instead of making him seem like he's angry. Don't anger. There is no anger in this. There we go. See? Most of the time you always hear, first draft is always crap. That's why when it comes down to studying certain things, when you analyze stuff, when you're drawing, you draw it in multiple ways. You keep going at it, you keep looking at it, keep redesigning, keep rethinking. What can I do differently to make this a little bit more realistic to what I want? Or how I can make it cartoonish, like in my way? Like, that's how I usually think. Like, how can I exaggerate this form? Because that's really what a cartoonist wants to do, is they want to exaggerate the state of what something is. Now, of course, with this, we were sticking with Pokemon designs that were already established. And it's kind of the biggest thing about what I was able to bring into this is my line design, my inking. Sounds reasonable. Okay. So we got... Actually, that looks quite lovely, is the first one. I think I'm going to stick with it. Very nice. We're in that zen moment. We're just, because, that's the big thing, is, this is relaxing. This is something I go to when I've had a stressful day. Because this is something I can just play with. See what I make. I usually find it the best time to sit down is when I'm feeling frustrated with everything else. Just go and sketch. Just go make something. And a lot of people goes, well, I don't want to ruin something that I find so pleasurable, with such a bad mood. But it's well, then you don't need to. I find it a good way to help me cope with certain things. And that's what I like to do. I find this relaxing. I find it helps get out of the thought process I was stuck in previously. Help me just see things differently. And by far, I'm quite the nerd, I'll have to admit. I have the chance to get stuck in my head. With so many little things, I overanalyze, overthink tremendously. This is where I could do one or the other. Because one of the things I do like to do is sit here and think about, like, well, what is this doing? What is this, that? In this case, it's just me being creative. I get to have that as my outlet. So I get lost in it. And then usually 3 hours later I go, oh, maybe I should go eat. You know, keep myself, you know, kind of going. See, now I'm going right back into cleaning lines. Alright, you can see I'm cutting it a little bit so I can go in here and rebuild the line a little bit to get that sharpness in there. Now these lines definitely need this being the furthest. There. Probably another good thing is, like, yeah, I should listen to music without lyrics. But typically when I'm also drawing for fun, I'm singing at the same time. And I know that can be so annoying for some people. But I keep my mind preoccupied with multiple things going at once. I'm not in any way brilliant or incredibly smart. I'm just an overactive mind. And most of the time it's really great for the imagination. And rebuild. There. There. I should also not slouch. But I also need my desk probably 3 inches taller than it is right now to keep from doing that. Don't overlook posture. It does make a big difference when you're drawing. Probably prefer to even be standing. But it's your preference. I don't go hunched over here. Yeah, those eyes look a lot nicer. They're quite lovely. Of course, I do need to. There. Maybe even. There. There we go. Alright. We're on to our next step. There we go. Okay. So we have this grayish brown. else we got? It's definitely more gray than brown though, but it's heavier in the dark. So this is another thing. It's like I'm making a variation. I think right about there is his base color. So let's go with that. Oh yeah, yeah, that looks great. So we're just gonna color all in, and then I'm gonna color over the top of it with the others. Oops. Oh my gosh, switch! Huh, that's right. There. Then his, yeah, we're gonna do his base. His body is this. We're not gonna fill all in. It's pointless. Just get the parts that matter with this. Yay. Now this would be great too. If I put out a bunch of ink stuff so everyone can just color. Because that's supposed to be rather relaxing. That's something to consider. Because I really do like inking quite a bit. It's getting that really nice, clean outline of something. And like I said, you can see how I would take like forever. Because it's just like, I like how inking can just bring out so much in something. And it just, it's the big moment to start thinking three-dimensionally with your 2D art. How can I make it jump out at you and be more than what it is? And you know what? The line structure is the best way an inker has at their disposal. Setting that variation of what's too close, what's close enough. Really make all those decisions. So I'm using my other hand to help with my elbow. See if I can keep from getting outside the lines. It'd be better if I can keep from going from painting to from eraser and such. A trait my brother and I seem to have shared since youth. Sticking our tongues out when we're highly concentrated. You know, I don't know if he still does. But we used to all the time when we played games. There's a strong possibility he stopped from doing it. Me? I catch myself occasionally. There. You know, I'm very much loving how this is looking. And I'm definitely going to have to draw a background for it. I'm just wondering which planet? Planet Namek? Or Earth? Like, was this his early team? Before? Because we all evolve our teams over time, don't we? We change them. Well, me, I haven't really. Bangar and Alakazam were my top two. And always will be. Chandelure, though, is definitely getting there. Being a ghost fire and having the highest special attack. I'm a weirdo about special attack. And I also like to do ghost, psychic quite a bit. And I'm one of those jerks that likes to work with Shuckle. Just status ailment. And then switch it. And then just hammer away. It's probably good to take out one, maybe two Pokemon, depending on what they are. That's a pretty darn good base. And then we'll be doing highlights and shadow, so add a whole nother layer of depth to this character. Now, actually, let's go ahead and get the eyes. It's just slightly off-white. This is not full white, but there, almost there. And you see me? I never used Farfetch'd. I was never fond of the ones that didn't have evolutions. And this is back in Gen 1. Farfetch'd didn't have any. He was a solo. We're gonna... So his bottom half is a darker brown in his eyes. That'll be good. We'll use that. I'm gonna go with the deep brown. So we'll be adding more highlight to the eyes here. Actually, I think I can barely see it, but I know I got out of that line. There we go. So feel free to put in a request like I have on that screen there. I'll gladly detour myself. Make sure I can see if there is anyone. Yeah, no comments, but that's cool. Alright, let's see if I can get the base color done and take a small break. Because, you know, it's good to stand up every hour. Get the blood flowing again. Now this brown that we have is like almost like a black, but it's really, really dark for his eyebrow or his forehead crest. Because that's one thing I almost forgot. Yeah. There we go. Now one of the things I'm going to have to start considering is lighting for these three. In Lucario, I'm also going to have to design an aura sphere. And that's going to require some layering and some effects. Get a nice look to what I'd like. Get that nice energy feel from that ball. Alright. So I got the green onion base, which is white, and it fades, so that's something I'm going to have to look into transitional-wise. So let's make sure we got green. So if we do make white bottom... No. And then it's really nice deep green. Maybe not that kind of green. I want a little bit more yellow added to this, yeah. More limey kind of greens. There we go. So actually, pretty close. That's exactly... Oh, that's a beautiful green. I love that. Now these ones will be affected more so by highlight and shadow. Especially because you can see that there's some depth in this. They're cone-shaped after all. And they go deeper into itself, so it's going to be shadowed. I'll just color it all in, because pretty much all I can see is the top of the green. Very little room for a transitional part. And that might be something I have wrong with this perspective, because now it looks like his hand is taking up quite a bit of space, and this stalk of leek is not that long. But you know what? We'll continue on. So you can sit here and nitpick everything I have. Add more orange to the beak. Yeah. It's almost kind of a gold. We're going to do less saturation. So we're going to go into this lower left corner to desaturate the color. But not by much. Just a little bit. I think we're good right there. Yeah. Nice contrast. Because this is also going to be hit with highlights because it's a shinier surface than the feathers. Even though the feathers can be shiny if he's just come out of water, but he's not an aquatic type, so we're not going to worry about adding that effect. Because I don't think he's necessarily a duck. Not like Psyduck. There. And this is going to be the same for his webbed feet. We're just going to zoom in a little bit, make it a little bit easier. Again, these are all going to get hit with highlight and shadow, and that's when this thing starts popping and it really gets its depth. Yeah, I'm not staying in the line very well, but oh well. I'll go through, clean them up. There we go. There. No! It's a problem with coloring on one layer, but gotta be careful of not getting into the other ones if you can help it. There we are, into... There. Just a calm, relaxing day of coloring, it seems. So yes, I do have a picture reference of Farfetch'd on the side there. Oh, see, this is the problem being zoomed down. It's like there's definitely gaps I did not fill in. Make sure those last little bits are filled in. Yeah. Again, I really like this no copyright sounds because it's really a mix of so many other things. Of course, I listen to a multitude of a lot of different types of music. One of my favorites is metal. You'd think that, oh my gosh, calm personalities. Like, no, sometimes you just gotta let it rip. It's just how it works. Now, I'm not too much of a big fan of rap, but I do like poetry quite a bit. So when a rapper does do really well, I really, really enjoy it. And usually it just... I'm looking for more something personal, something that's heartfelt. Oops. Alright, Farfetched is based color is all set. So then let's add another layer. This one's going 50% because that's how much easier it can be. We're just going to go pitch black. So, this is the part where I said, now it's time to consider, where is this shadow coming from? Because we've got an aura sphere coming here, so he's a little bit backlit, so I might even put a blue hue along the edge of some of like the top half of his, feather head, and a little around his part of his head, and then top of these fingers, maybe even across his back, because we got a big old blue aura sphere. It's cast in light quite a bit. Something to consider. It depends on how close he is too. But either way, it'd be probably just like a little sharp, little, really light blue, whitish color highlight to show the backlit. So if that's the case, then I have a light source that's coming from. Well, let's figure this out. Let's make notes. Never hurts to make reference and notes to what you're doing. So we're gonna go into Sketch. So I have a light source right here. So in this case, how this angle is to his head, it's more, less. See if I can get the right angle. I'm thinking, making a 3D arrow here. So the light is coming from that direction, which also means that it's going in the direction of Fernape in a very similar way, but at a different angle. Because spheres, obviously, they throw it in every which direction. There we go. Not quite. I mean, you're going to see that a little bit. So we got angle from that aura sphere going that way and that way. Now, is there any other light source I have to consider, or is that the overpowering one that's lighting this whole thing? If that's the case, there's going to be a lot of darkness in front. Now, of course, I have to consider, is it coming from the front? If that's the case, or I can even have the sun, a light source coming from over this direction. Now I have to figure out, is it in front of Infernape, in front of Farfetched? Because if that's the case, it's casting across and it's doing more of a, on Farfetched, to be doing kind of this. And that's the light source from the sun coming at him. So he's got front, but it's coming downward at an angle to him. And this is for everyone. That's kind of my 3D arrow of the sun. And then I'm just going to put AS for aura sphere. So I got two different light sources coming at him. One of which is going to be show a highlight along the edge. So he's backlit. And then I have the sun coming in from the front, or my main light coming in from the front. And I'll just put another aura sphere, make sure the note's on that one. So this is just to consider where I have light sources coming from, and those are the main ones. I mean, I could have a volcano, but it could be so far away it's barely showing anything. But it's like that little tinge of red that could be there, reddish oranges. But when the sunlight's coming through and it's coming in, it's usually coming in as pure white. It's only when it gets to those orangey reddish colors is when it's dusk or dawn. So I have this pretty high up in the sky, so it's coming out as pure white. So it's not going to transition too much. I definitely have a weird thing to work with Because if I have the sun coming in at that angle, I have sun actually going down into the leak at that angle. That's something to consider. I mean, there'll still be shadows, but it'll be mainly just right where, like along the back edges. And I get to figure out, is this hand curved like this one? So that's going to be, the back half here is going to be darker. He's going to be darker along here. Have some darkness there. A darkening portion there. Definitely around, oh, not around there, but like a shadow underneath the beak. There's going to be shadow there, shadow here. Kind of like the whole side is cast in shadow there. And I have shadow along this edge, along this one. Same thing along this. You can probably barely see it given the color I'm using. In this case too, I would have shadow along here. Shadow along here, given where the leak is. The leak has shadow cast as well. Hands casting a shadow. So maybe this whole place is darkened actually. And then what is it? How we have this is we got probably darker on that edge, darker on that edge, definitely darker on that edge, and darker on the back of the head until you get that nice sharp highlight from the aurisphere coming in the background. Yeah, so that means this whole bottom half of the jaw is also in shadow. Alright, well, you know, I have an idea. Let's start executing some of this and executing. Terrible word. It's so violent. Let's go to paint. Nope, not paint. Where is it? Ink. So we will. Let's see what we do with that kind of. We're gonna take off our notes. So given that. The whole lower jaw is going to be in shadow. I'm also going to add some depth to the eye. There. Like I said, we're gonna do the full like shadow, and then the highlights going right in over top of it, because it's like that hard transition, because the aurisphere is so bright compared to where the shadow is. So we got a little bit shadow back that. That's all in shadow. Definitely have the bottom half. We'll clean that up in a moment. There. Brr. Death my tongue. Such a disgusting thing. Sorry. Alright, again, we'll be going over that highlight as soon as we get this in. So, and that's, I'm really excited about that, because that highlight's got some huge amount of play in here. Okay, so these are connected, because this whole back portion. At the same time, we got a nice transition into there. This is also mainly There. And next, further ahead. There. Yes. I really do like doing shadows because this is, like I said, this is the part where you start seeing the whole thing kind of pop out. It really gets get more character into this. And then again. Do 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 do. So that front there. All right. So we also know that's all in shadow. Under the body. That side of the leg is also given this, because this whole thing has a little bit of shape to it. This. There. There. This all looks nice. Some lovely transitions. Clean up some of that line. There. All right, now this. There. And along that whole edge. There. So as you see how much like he's getting his shape in. Alright, now this though, unfortunately, really seems like there's so much more it's gonna be in shadow because it's the lowest finger and it's technically underneath the other one. So do that and probably put a harsh highlight there? Nah. These are all gonna come further forward. Alright. And then even this. There. Yes, yes. Now I also have to, I just remembered, there's the underbody of his coat. He's got a whole nother color that I did not consider. So do this, and we're gonna desaturate it, because it's unbelievable. Desaturate it from the, make it whiter, and make sure we got some nice light brownish tones. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so I'm going to first put in like the bases of it, and then we're going to transition from that. So, because he's got, it's not a perfect line like this is. Oh, crud. Alright, zoom in. Make sure we do this right. He's got it pretty far underneath his belly. We'll go in and make the jagged line edge after we get this in. So it comes up. It also goes underneath his mouth, so it's quite a transition. This is one of those little details I forgot, but we're getting it in there now. And these would be the same. I am on the color layer. Just had a brief moment of going, this would be terrible if I was on the wrong layer, and I am not. Alright, so there's only a few parts that are clean transition. Right there and right there. The rest of it, I've got to add in some variation. And just kind of making a little uneven. Do. Can I have my nice little perfect edge there? There. And I could even go. Ah, see, can't do that because I didn't make them two separate layers of color. I'd have to go in with the gray. There. Sharpening up some of those tips. Yay. There. See? Variation. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a variable of just how much I want to put in. Alright. So now, back to the shadows. So we do got casted by that. Actually, it seems more like this is just going to be full. Got a deeper one coming back of the head. No! Move with the hand. Trying to get some nice clean edge transitions. There. There. Now, I have to decide on that far arm. I bet you it's going to be... It's kind of curved in, like the fingers are doing this. If you can see. The hand is curved. This is not flat. I mean, well, no, it could be. Like he's outstretched his arm. How do we? I guess there wouldn't be any shadow. There might be more highlight given to that. Yes. I see more highlight. Now there is one thing. Got the sun coming down. Again, look at reference. This is the reference says. I mean, there might be a little bit just from the simply of how close it is to the body. So I can't deny that little amount. Not like that, but this will also show the transition from both portions of the body. You can always take it back out if I don't like it. But very small amount. There. Okay. There. There we go. Sorry, I like to do my highlights on a separate layer. We're going to go into the purest whites, or actually do the same thing. Yes. There. Now there's also, I might have to do this in 2 separate layers now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm probably going to want to take some of this and not make it as sharp of a, like that one right there. This one across the beak needs to be sharp because it's a smoother surface. And same thing with these ones here. So there are some highlights that have to be harsh based upon it. But in this case, the ones that are on his feathered body, I need those to be lighter. So we're gonna throw them in. And probably cut them out. Throw a filter on them separately. So I really do need these ones to have that feathered effect. Ha ha ha. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so the fresh ones are going to get their own little love. So we're going to cut you. And then paste you on a separate layer. That we're going to go into. Because I need to blur them out. And I need to blur them out quite a bit. So that's also another reason why I kept them further from the edge. Thinking, okay. Oh, it's just 65, yeah. So you can see quickly, we can see the difference between surfaces now because of that. I just realized I'm gonna have to, yeah, back out. Alright, now I do the blur because that line didn't allow me to blur this, and I can go in and erase this after the fact, so that's perfectly fine to make sure. So we did 40. So I like the 40. What? Did 40. I'll go erase that portion. Now this was also being shown that there is no transitional data. And I'm just noticing some coloring that I'm gonna go back through real quick. There we go. There we go. There. Getting some of the edge transition. Very small curve differences. There. Actually, this does need to be. All right. So this actually. Yeah, this one. Pull it back quite a ways. It's not a very big highlight. It's a highlight, but not a huge amount. And I also need to do the tops of these, so that's back to the other one. Oh, there's Adrian letting us know. I'm gonna turn it down just a bit for time. I know it was weird. Now this is where my style kind of comes out, is that I'm not doing the everything like the Pokemon, those ones. I'm doing it with my own style of it. I'm doing these transitional parts. Oh, I do have. There we go. There. Alright, Farfetch'd has his shadows and highlights. Now we get to add the additional, because we're also going to do this. Because this way, we know he's all by himself here. Alright, G. Make sure it's all in one layer for him. So we have a specialty highlight. And this one's going to be the bluish tones. We're going to saturate with some blues. And this one's going to be a harsh one, but very small amount. And this is even going to interrupt the shadowed spots. So we're gonna think this out. We're gonna go. So this is a very subtle transition of extra light. Because again, it's just kind of highlighting. It's just really pushing the bar on where the light sources are coming from. The tail is one of the only spaces that should have a lot more than's necessary. And as you can see, it's kind of almost pushing some other level in him, because now we're getting that little subtlety of the fill light in the background, or just a background light that's pushing him further forward. So it's really, I'm getting excited. I'm getting real excited. And then we also, you know, very subtle amount in the back of the foot. Very small amount there. Okay. So this one's all about the subtlety of it. There, we got Farfetch'd, and he's got his shadows in, he's got his highlights in, he's also then got the harsh extra lit aspect of the aura sphere, giving him a little bit more lighting. We're gonna clean up this one so it doesn't look. This has to look sharp. That's its main point, is looking sharp. It's very clean edge. I might even, you know what? Yep. Small amount towards the beak. Oops. There. Anyway, it's all pushing everything a little bit further forward with that kind of aspect, that the bluish tint white fill. I like it. And it interrupts the shadowed spots too. Now this is, I'm going to keep at 100%. I'm not going to make it subtle. It's supposed to be harsh. It's a light that's very, very bright coming from behind him. Going right from this source here. Now this means that I'm going to have to do quite a bit of work to our Lucario here to get him to also properly be lit. So we'll save it, because we got Farfetch'd here all ready to go. So, you know, I'll even name it. Make sure, you know, I'm not messing with them far. Aw, it did not like me doing that. Come on. What? There it goes. Save. I can definitely say I won't be getting to that one. Because we're almost hitting the 2-hour mark, and I've only colored one. But you know, this is the part like I said, like I was considering all my angles of light. I have the aura sphere and I have the sun, and this means like he's gonna have like a deep shadows across his face and everything towards the front of his body. He's gonna have some, you know, and then it's gonna be interrupted with some highlights across the edging. Now he's also got his own head. That's fire. That's gonna have its own cast of orange across the top of a lot of this. And possibly his own little shoulders across his back a bit, and his finger here, and a little bit of tits there. But then it kind of fades away and doesn't go any further, because I have him leaning up against something here. Gave him a little bit of attitude. But you can see from... if I take away the ink, he pretty much stands out on his own. It's really cool. The ink just helps define it a bit more. I could definitely go in there and fix up that inking quite a bit more. As you saw, I was going through it quite a bit, and like there's so many more lines I'd like to fix, but I'm gonna leave it be for now. Cause I could spend a whole time streaming just me cleaning up the edges on those, because that whole back one here, that one needs some transition issues, and this tail needs some extra help kind of pushing it back, but pulling it forward a little bit. So there's quite a dynamic I'm still doing. And then the same thing with his hands, because like the variation from the tip, from the base of the hand out to the fingers, that needs to be stronger. And then the leak needs a little bit of toning down. I mean, it is the closest item, closest thing forward, so it does need the biggest line I can make, but I can tone it down a bit. Plus, it's a huge transition, quick transition from here to, you know, down, because of the angle of which I have it pointing directly at you. Boom. So, let's jump on Infernape next. Let's get him, because like I said, Lucario is going to be colored, shadowed in a different way, because he's got so much transition going on for him. That's gonna be quite a task right there on his own. Cause he's got the most going on. Cause like the back of this foot, it's gonna be really dark, but it's also gonna have the highlight from the sun. Here, it's gonna have really dark. I'm actually gonna be looking at darker shadows, because of how much harsher this light, how much brighter it is than the sun is. So there's going to be like a huge dynamic. We'll tackle that last. Actually, given that I'm probably going to be only streaming for another hour and 15 minutes, maybe I should tackle that right now. At the same time, I do need to design the aura sphere. Get that in there. Because that's going to be its own subtle way. Let's design the aura sphere and work from this. So Farfetch'd, you are all set. I'm going to lock you down. That way I don't accidentally tamper with anything on your side. And you know what? Even though these two are going to be separated as well. So we're going to take Lucario here in that layer. Cut him out and repaste him on his own layer. So that's what we'll do. And we're going to even make sure I take off that. We're going to do the same thing for you. We're going to make you all separate folders. And ooh, Lucario. There. And bird. So Infernape is in front of Lucario. So we keep this also as our means of saying foreground, midground, background. Keep it going. Okay, so we're gonna lock down Infernape so we don't mess with him either. Alright, so we got 1, 2. So we got a coloring layer, we got shadow, we got highlight, and then I might even have to do another, so we'll see. But that base layer here, we're gonna get his coloring down. So we're gonna switch this up. We're gonna do Lucario, try to get that done for the, because this is gonna be the most dynamic aspect of lighting and coloring for any character I have right now. I know either, but I really like Lucario. I really like to work on him. Now, as you can see, I already see lines I want to fix. Not gonna worry about it right now. Could take could take another 3 hours. We're gonna fix that at another day. All right, so we're already looking at blues here. Lucario's got this I love this blue too. This blue is so nice. Let's see if I can match it up. Looking at the reference. Desaturate it some from where I am. Wow, it's kind of nice that I got right into the blue that I was looking for, because that's right in that nice transition. Let's take a look real quick. Yeah, you know what? Oh, that was a spot he could keep it. Either way, I really like it. Now I also have a few things, because I have that blue tone I have to get across everywhere. And I didn't finish the line there. My goodness. So his paws are black, or this is really dark gray. So we're keeping that. So again, we're gonna color in his base color, and we're gonna worry about layering over different things for the transitions. One of the nice little cheats of doing digital is that I can layer everything after the fact instead of during. Whole different way of thinking. Okay. I don't think I've mentioned enough is how much I love Lucario. Lucario is one of those. I put him on my team because he's Steel type, and he's fighter. So it's like one of the few exceptions to my Ghost Psychic that I like to use. That way, that way I'm covering certain bases too, but not like completely weak against one type. But that's why I also use Metagross. Oops. That's right. So that's a different color, and I'll have to finish that line. Let us do that real quick. Nope. There. Oh no, I don't like that. That's... That's right, that's one of those things I have to fix. There. It's not as good of a transition. This probably should see a bit more. Still not. Ew. better. Much better. Much better. And... because that was bugging me. Overshot. Alright, like I said, I can sit here, clean up. Back to coloring, back to coloring. Back to my cool blue. There we go. Definitely give some love to No Copyright Sounds. They have quite a few songs out there they allow streamers to use. It's definitely helpful. Support them. They open this up. It's free. They really do some nice stuff. You know, I think what I'm going to listen to is, I like a... Huh, I did not draw those in. Interesting. Alright, so let's go back to inking. Because there is something. Let's have to find this translation. Because they got... Okay. No. That extra line was not good. Nope. There, because that's part of where the pause cut off from the blue to the black. And it's got... yeah. And then this is also black, so more blue there. Alright. We're good. Moving on. Gotta make sure I get these sectioned off right. And then we got the ears and that lower part of the jaw. Then we'll have to find a nice dark gray. One of the nice things about using a darker background is it's a lot easier to see where you have gaps. So if I was pure white, I might miss it with a lighter color that I'm working with right now. I might. I mean, it just depends on how good your eyesight is. So we got quite the dynamic again going on with this Lucario with his aura sphere. We've cast quite a bit of light, and the one that's going to be so subtle on him is going to be the sunlight, because we have such a harsh bright light that's counteracting the sunlight. So it's not, because like, I mean, literally the source is right here. So we got a huge amount of bright light coming across his body. Okay, now ears. I don't know if I like Lucario because he's a dog or it's because of his... He's always got this cool guy aspect. He's got like, he's just a badass. I'll say it's for both reasons. I don't know, if I ever got myself a dog, maybe I'd name it Lucario. Especially if it looked blue. Right? Oops. There. Running, running, running without you. All right. Never gave him a tail. These small details that I keep forgetting. Alright, so... You know what? I already have an idea where it's going to be. Now it's just a matter of putting in because it's right about here. It starts. And he's got... It's got this little edge to it. There. There. Works really well because his tail's kind of up to the side. Works for me. And that's also blue. And that one's going to have a lot of shadow because, again, we have the light from the Aura is casting deep shadows. So it's counteracting the sun by quite a bit. But quite a bit. There we go. Almost forgot. You know, I mean, he is a dog. He's got a nice... They got a nice tail to use for counterbalancing. When you think it really like helps with the fighter type. Okay. Now we have a steely kind of steely bright white, and I want to keep it subtle blue, and that's these spikes he's got. He's got 3 of them, 1 on his chest and 2 on his back of his paws. Nope. Go over. There. That's one. And then we got the one that's showing right here. So this is different than eye weight because it's got a kind of steely grayish blue. It's very, very, very subtle. Okay, and then let's transition to the white of the eyes. This is also another aspect I like of Lucario is the eyes are so deep and intense. Then it's got this very piercing red. Is it reddish orange? Yeah, it's kind of reddish, but it's a little bit more red than orange. It's very piercing red. Yeah, that's about it. Because I like that about his characters. They got blue, gray, and then really, really deep, bright red. Such a lovely color. My two favorite colors, blue and red, of course. Alright, then he also has this subtle off-white tan. Tan front coat, also. That's what this is. And it's just here across the chest. Ooh. His color scheme is rather lovely. It's like, yes, let's throw in these intense red eyes. Okay. Now we have to find a particularly darkish. It's like not pitch black, but really dark gray. I don't want it to be tinted by any color, so it's really along this edge. Really deep, deep, deep. Let's pull back just a little bit. Because it's definitely darker than that, but it's... Okay. There it is. Beautiful. Got this nice, lovely gray mask going on. There. Of course, this goes into his ears. Ears slash tendril looking things. They're ears. They're, oh wait, no, that's hair tendrils. Because his ears are blue. Doesn't have extra set of ears unless he's extra awesome. There we go. Alright, so the paws, the shoulder pads, all this gets this darker gray. And then we get to start figuring out these highlights, because I think this is the last color I have to fill in, right? Yeah, it is. So we get to start figuring out this whole lighting aspect. How to make him pop even more. Actually, I should also, before I even do that, let's create the aura sphere. Because the aura sphere I'm not going to make with a with your normal like inked outline. It doesn't have a true form. It's pure energy, so it should be. It doesn't necessarily have an edge. So we're gonna go with that. My reasoning for not inking in anything for it. There. Oh, this is so much fun. See, this is what it should be when you draw. It should just be fun. Pure, unadulterated fun. You know, I'm very proud of myself. I haven't talked in different voices yet to my and haven't gotten into any arguments with myself. You know, there's one other thing, another color I have to consider. And that is the inside of those pads. Do I make it this subtle portion as well? And it will make it that tannish color. Or I could even make it pink and make its own, a whole nother color. Oh, somebody I think wants to go out. Yeah. Yep. All right. Now this. I like how he's coming out. He's. I enjoy inking quite a bit because it's a whole different portion, and then coloring takes it to another level, and that's if coloring is done right. And you can mess up coloring. You can. Just like you can mess up inking, you mess it up, and where it doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, just keep going. Change it up. Hopefully you can find something, because you know you don't want to scrap everything you just did. You want to adjust. It's one of the things I do like about drawing on a computer, is that you have a lot more freedom to change things up. I can cut out a portion just by selecting it and go, I want to reshape it this way. On paper and pencil, you pretty much get a different mentality of like, don't erase anything. Just go with it. See if you can change it with what you already have. We're gonna wait until Adrian calms down a bit. Do. Alright. As you can see, I did not take a break like I said I was going to. I don't always have to. It's... You should. Get away from the screen. But, you know, I'm having so much fun with everyone right now. So we're gonna... keep going. We can tough through it. Keep thinking I'm going to use the same tan from the chest. Because this is an aspect I don't recall ever seeing. I mean, I could go with the pink, but... Heck, I can even go with blue. I'm thinking this is a nicer color to use. Yay! No, the biggest deal about these hands is I think a lot of them are going to be so overcast with color that they're really like that bluish Aurasphere color. My tongue's peeking. There. There we are. The Cario's colored. How lovely. Alright. Let's make that Aurasphere. He's charging up. See, this is a part that I'm starting to think. Because his head is further in front of it, so I'm also going to have to do a little dynamic cut to not allow any of it to come forward like that. Yeah. Because this is my work area is going to be... is definitely... because this is a hard transition between that and there. So... that wasn't quite what I wanted. Oh, darn. Well, then let's do this. Let's go out. Actually, even then... Actually... Now, there's a reason why I'm going out so far as well, because that way I can have a nice transition, but... Oh. Alright. So we're taking out a little bit more that we know that the light's not going to get to, and it's quite possible it won't get to this portion either, because I can always light that differently, so I think I'm going to take that out as well. And just worry about everything in front. There we go. So that's where the aura sphere is going to have its effect on Lucario for the most part, because one, the head is in front of it, the foot is behind his body, so it's not going to be affected, and only the front half of this foot, so I'm not going to have it, because that's also kind of blocking light going from beyond this foot here. And so now got a nice, it's got a deep blue center, like almost ocean. Or is it a pure white? Wait a second. Oh goodness. Yep, let's just bring up a reference. Let's see if we can find. Because there's so many different ways I could do this. Because it's also kind of got this like wind aspect. Oh, that's kind of lovely. Yeah, so it's definitely got a dynamic going on to it. one of the references actually shows that it's got like, looks to be 3 mini spheres that are inside of it. Same time, kind of like that. It's going to be in front of this paw. Behind. This one's kind of supporting it, but it's going to be in front of that one. So then we got that base. So then we have a nice deeper color to go with. I layered it wrong. You know, because here we go. We're going to have to put another layer. Put that on top. We'll collapse it later on. Oh well. So now this one. Not quite there. So that's my center. Nope. There we go. So these are going to have some serious subtle changes and effects added to them. But base color first. Even going to this is kind of that energy wave portion. So that's the part that's going to get this little weird transitioning aspect going on. Because the blue is supposed to be more of like the actual physical form. The white, the light steely blue is going to be kind of like that edge. It's going to have that play on it. And then of course I have to have swirls coming into it too. We'll work on that. That'll be its own layer. Okay, so got the base of the sphere going. I even want to say I'd like another with a different blue this time. This is one of those blues that will get blurred. Actually, if that's the case, this is where parts of it definitely need more. I'm going to be layering on top of each other, so it's this blue. Kind of. It's a lot of blur layers, if anything. So you can go into filter, blur. Because I kind of want this dynamic to be really strong differences between one over the other. But still. I can pull it back. No, we'll keep that. Let's get this one just right. Nah, not like that. Because it's swirling into itself. Yes. Get some swirling chaos going on here. And then we get to do the same thing with that outer color. This way the edge is not perfect. We don't want a perfect edge. We want chaos. It's not... It's not subtle. I'm trying to be a little bit more chaotic with it, but I'm keeping everything swirling into it. That's the big aspect, is it's all building up. There we go. That looks lovely. It's got definitely a serious chaos going on so far. So far. It'd be really nice. And this subtle chaotic purple. Let's see if we can do it over the top. On the top, but underneath. Spiraling into doom. Maybe. Now you want to erase that circle form. Can we do screen? Yeah, not screen. It's not quite. Not that one either. Not a color dodge. Burn it? Again, this is all those aspects. I feel like I want to. Not quite. As a matter of fact, I'm not enjoying that layer as much as I'd like to. So maybe. What I really want. This is its own layer. So we're definitely playing. And again, that's something I don't want a perfect edge. I want to bump it out. Give it a little bit of instability that it's not a perfect sphere. Okay. And then we do blur, jump up. Okay. Nah. That's a bit better. I like the burn. Maybe even a... Still have like a bunch of swirls I want to coming into it, but go back to you.